Post my egg freezing procedure, I bled for over 3.5 months non-stop. I was having very heavy bleeding. My hemoglobin had come to an all-time low of 5.4. My fibroids had grew in size and in number. They started coming till my belly, which wasn't the case earlier. And not being dramatic or anything, but at a point, because I was losing so much blood, I was literally scared for my life. The doctors were giving me heavy medication to stop my bleeding. They gave me injections, iron infusions, and nothing was working. And honestly, if I had the slightest idea that my body would react in this way, like if I had any knowledge of it, I really wouldn't put myself and my body through hell like this. Hi guys, I'm Shivani Trehan and welcome to my channel Social Cravings. Now around 30th of August 2024, I had got my egg freezing procedure, also known as oocyte cryopreservation procedure, done. I already have two videos which I have posted earlier. In the first one, I had spoken about how I prepped my body for the egg freezing procedure and everything I did in terms of my diet, supplementation. And in the second video, I have actually shown the entire procedure and how I was taking the injections and all of it. So if you would like to watch them, I'm linking them down in the description box below and you can have a look. Now in this video, I am basically talking about how my body reacted post the egg freezing process. Now when I had the meeting with the doctor after the egg freezing process, she told me that my period date firstly could change, like the first cycle date, and also it could be heavy in terms of blood flow. So okay, I got my egg freezing procedure done on 30th August and on 3rd September I had my first cycle, and in fact in that cycle I was pretty much fine and I did not have that sort of heavy bleeding. And then I had my second cycle on 1st of October, and that is when things went downhill. So it was from 1st of October 2024 till about 3rd week of January. Can you imagine that I was continuously bleeding? It's insane. And I'm not even talking about light bleeding. I'm talking about heavy duty bleeding where I was even getting blood clots, and clots sometimes to the size of a tennis ball or a golf ball. Then on 5th or 6th of October, I had so much pain that I had to be rushed into emergency. And again, the doctors were giving me injections to control the bleeding, to control the pain. And it took me several hours to get in a comfortable position where, I was without any pain. 21st October, my birthday, I could not do anything. I couldn't step out anywhere because of the heavy bleeding. At this point, obviously, I spoke to my doctor who did my egg freezing procedure, and she told me that whatever's happening is happening because of the fibroids and has got nothing to do with the egg freezing procedure. Agreed, it's happening because of the fibroids, but the fibroids have grown in size and in number as a consequence of the procedure, right? And then all doctors, I was consulting other doctors as well, and they were all saying the same thing, that the egg freezing procedure, the effects of it, take about 2 months to go. And they need about 2 months even for the ovaries and everything to heal, because they actually make pricks on the ovaries to take out the egg. So for 2 months they can't do anything, you can't have any surgery or you can't do anything inside your uterus. Then came November and I was put on some medication. In fact, me and my family were supposed to go to Goa, and which we did, but there was a consideration of cancelling the plan, obviously because of my health reasons. But this was the first time that all of us as a family were traveling with Pixie as well. We had made all the bookings, everything. But my family was very supportive and they said that if you are not okay to travel, obviously, then let's just cancel the entire plan. But personally, I did not want to do that. So I go to the doctor and tell him that, just give me some medication to stop the bleeding and that I don't have any period at all. So they gave me a very strong medication, and it controlled the bleeding slightly, and I went to Goa. But honestly, 60% of my time in Goa was spent in washrooms. Like really, I would go out for lunch, dinner. My sister and mom wanted to do some shopping, and every time I would just be in washrooms. Even on the beach, I remember running to washrooms to change and everything. I had stained all my clothes. I had to wash all my clothes. And honestly, from 1st of October till 3rd week of Jan, I had not even worn my own underwear. I was not even wearing pads. I was on period panties. Like, I was bleeding that heavily. So, I mean, now you know why I was like literally scared for my life at a point of time. So when I came back from Goa, the very next day, like the next morning, I went to the doctor and I had my surgery already scheduled as per the doctor's recommendation on 4th of December. But then I was told that my hemoglobin was too low to perform any sort of surgery, and they're like, with this level of hemoglobin, the doctors would have to do a blood transfusion, and they're like, we would have to give you 4 to 5 units of someone else's blood, and that's not really an ideal situation, and we wouldn't want to do a surgery like that till you're so weak. And in fact, after surgery you will be even more weak, so even the recovery will become difficult. So it was not advisable really to do a surgery at that point, so they still continued the medication on me. So at that point, the goal became only to raise up my hemoglobin and get ready for surgery. Now coming to December, most of you know that it was my parents' anniversary, 40th anniversary on 1st of December, and we had this big celebration party happening, and I was going through all of this, so I was very nervous. And again, I told the doctors, praying to the universe that just keep me fine. We had relatives coming from out of town, from out of country, and I really wanted to enjoy my time. And I mean, it was something that my family was really looking forward to, and I just didn't want, you feel guilty that, oh my god, I'm going to be the one, like, I just hope I don't ruin it. In fact, I remember that I had planned to wear a sari for the celebration, but I was like, who's going to manage that, just in case I have to change and everything. And so I decided to wear that Indo-Western pants suit because of convenience. I mean, it looked nice and I got compliments for it, but yeah, it was actually out of convenience that I ended up wearing that outfit. In fact, I carried another extra outfit just in case. But the good thing is, at least I was fine on that night. Honestly, from that day on, I just decided to pretty much stay at home and watch Netflix and like watch shows and movies just to distract myself. I hope now you understand when I say that I had no idea that things could go so downhill and my body could have such an adverse reaction to this whole egg freezing procedure. None of it. Like, I had no idea that my fibroids would grow so big and in number. And obviously, you could see a difference in the ultrasound reports before egg freezing procedure and after that. In fact, when I had gone for my last ultrasound after egg freezing procedure, I'm lying down there while the ultrasound is happening, and the doctor goes like, another doctor, so she goes like, your fibroids are 11 centimeters big. And I was like, what? I was like, no way, it's not possible, because my biggest fibroid was about 2, max like 3 centimeters something. This is not possible. And I took out my old report and showed it to her, and she called another doctor inside, another lady doctor, and both of them were discussing, and they're like, you have multiple fibroids which have grown in size. They said that. They told me that they have grown in size after the egg freezing procedure, looking at your previous scans, and they're multiple in number, so they're looking like this one big fibroid. And that is exactly why I could feel it, like a brick. Like, it was like I would poke my belly, like under my belly, and I could feel something really hard over there. Ultimately, the other doctors that I started going to had to give me a very strong injection to reduce and stop the bleeding. And that injection also apparently helps to reduce the size of the fibroids. So let's see how that goes. Guys, I understand that every body, every individual body, every woman's body is different. So every body will react differently to the hormones. I also understand that I had fibroids before egg freezing. But again, I did not know that they would grow so much and like in number as well. So yeah, so my body responded in a very different way. And I've spoken to various women, like different women, and everyone's given me different feedback because everyone's body has reacted differently. There are women who have put on weight and not lost their weight even after 2 years of egg freezing. Women whose period cycle completely changed. I know another girl who bled for quite some time, in her first cycle and subsequently the other cycles as well. And then there are girls who don't have any of these symptoms. So I completely understand that it works like that. So no way am I encouraging or discouraging for anyone to get this process done or not done. Like, it's totally your choice. I am just sharing my own personal experience and making you aware that this also happens, especially when I have a platform where women with endometriosis, ovarian cysts and fibroids come to me. Now these are all estrogen dominant diseases, and in egg freezing ultimately we are injecting estrogen in our bodies. So I think it's just good to be aware that something like this can happen to your body. It may not, but yeah. Now if you guys remember, on my Instagram I had spoken about how my endometriosis cysts had completely gone, and for 2 years they never came back in any of my ultrasound reports. It was only after egg freezing, when I got an MRI done in October, there was a small cyst, endocyst showing. I hope that also goes and is gone, but yeah, it did come back. So guys, in my case, even after the endocysts going for so long, I didn't get relief from the heavy bleeding and the pain because of fibroids. So in my case, I'm very symptomatic with fibroids, and it also depends on the position of the fibroids. So my fibroids are in that sort of position where it leads to heavy bleeding. So please, like, understand, I know not every woman with fibroids will have this sort of pain and bleeding. It depends also on the position of the fibroids and the size. And yes, in my case, it's because of the position of the fibroids. After my egg freezing procedure, when I got my MRI done, I had shared my report with Ayurvedic doctors, homeopathic doctors, just hoping that still there might be a natural remedy for this. But unfortunately, all of them, even a yoga center, unfortunately, all of them said that I need to go for a surgery. And that's when I reached out to allopathic doctors and surgeons. But till now I have got no surgery done, and I am still on my journey with the fibroids. So let's see how this goes. But this is the update till now. And that's it for today, guys. The good news is that my hemoglobin is up from 5.4 to 12. So I thought I should end the video on some good news, and that's why I'm being able to sit here today and talk to you guys. Whenever there's a next update, I will definitely let you know. In the meantime, if you have any questions, do comment and I will definitely get back to you. Lots of love.